is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Wisconsin.
Another beautiful day in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The Brewers going for the sweep on the road against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Sunday afternoon baseball here in this Labor Day holiday weekend, and it's going to be Chase Anderson on the mound for the Brewers. Tough loss in his last start against the Pirates. He goes up against Steven Brault, making his fourth major league start, but his first in the home uniform for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Hi, everybody. I'm Craig Kashan alongside Bill Schroeder. Great to have you with us here on this Sunday afternoon as the Brew Crew goes for a sweep. A big win last night, a late inning rally in the 8th inning, but the Brewers getting all kinds of bats together in this one. 3 players with a minimum of 3 hits last night, Rock.
Yeah, not a whole lot going on offensively. First game of the series and up until about the 8th inning in yesterday's game. But, you know, 3 guys really highlighted in yesterday's game. Keon Broxton, the leadoff hitter last night. He's going to be leading off again today with 3 hits, a big key component of the Brewers' big win yesterday. Orlando Arcia, his first 3-hit game. He's really starting to make some nice adjustments up there at the plate. The defense has been terrific. The speed incredible. You see the acrobatic move right there. And Chris Carter, another big day at the plate. A 4-hit game for Chris Carter, including a big home run that gave the Brewers an early lead. And it's going to be interesting to watch the rest of the way through September, to watch some of these young players as they evolve in the major leagues. It's all about rebuilding. It's all about player evaluation right now. And 2 guys in particular have been doing a really good job.
All right, we're going to set the lineups for you. The crew goes for the sweep. Never easy on the road. The Pirates did it, though, last weekend in Milwaukee. The Brewers trying to pull it off in Pittsburgh today. Looking forward to it. First pitch coming up next. Milwaukee Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. By your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. And by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time.
Tonight we are victorious.
Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Spend the night with luxury. A glorious Sunday afternoon for baseball. Along with Bill Schroeder and Sophia Minert, our sideline reporter, I'm Craig Kashan. Welcoming you back to PNC Park. 81 degrees. A perfect day to finish out the road trip. A quick 3-game road trip for the Brewers. Trying to get a sweep. They're fired up and ready to go in that Brewer dugout. So far, so good, as they have paid back the Pittsburgh Pirates from that 4-game sweep that would put on the Brewers back at Miller Park. And Craig Counsell in his second season as the Brewer manager, entering the final month of the baseball season. His team looking good over the last couple of days. Here's his batting order here today, presented by Potawatomi. Keon Broxton back at the top of the order. Then it's Arcia batting second today. Perez third, and Chris Carter in the cleanup role. Santana out and right. Manny Pena behind the plate. Scooter Gennett at second. Jake Elmore gets the start out in left field. And Chase Anderson on the mound for Milwaukee. And they go up against the lefty Stephen Brolt, making his home debut, his 4th major league start.
And his one loss came at the hands of the Brewers back at Miller Park on July 29th. A 3-1 loss. He went 6 innings, pitched pretty well, and made his first start, with the Pirates back on July 5th. That was against the St. Louis Cardinals in a no decision. He was down in the minor leagues where he went 2-7 with a .370 earned run average. Well, let's check out the Pirates defense, brought to you by Menard here today. You got Marte, McCutchen, and Polanco in the outfield. You got a couple of changes defensively. You got actually 4 guys in the infield. Frazier, Rodriguez at short. You got John Jaso making his first start of the series at first base. And the veteran backstop Chris Stewart behind home plate.
Umpiring crew today, Clint Fagan is calling balls and strikes. It's Mark Carlson at first, Brian Gorman at second, and he is the crew chief. And then over at third, it's Quinn Walcott. Keon Broxton, who had a big game yesterday for Milwaukee, collecting 3 hits, also a big RBI. The former Pittsburgh Pirate. It was a year ago in September that he was a September call-up, had 2 plate appearances, 1 0 for 2 and a stolen base, and happy to be in a Brewer uniform and producing for his new team. And the highest on-base percentage, I should say highest on-base plus slugging on the road, Keon Broxton, since the All-Star break. How about that topping the list for Keon Broxton? Who would have thought that would be the case?
Man, I would imagine the on-base percentage up there too. I mean, he's been outstanding. 2nd consecutive game in that leadoff spot. Jonathan Villar banged up first game of the series. He has sore knee, so Broxton getting another shot at that leadoff spot today.
And the first pitch of the ball game is ball 1 to Keon Broxton. Pirates wearing some throwback uniforms again today. They did last night, honoring their '71 World Championship team. This is the era of the late '70s, early '80s. Got the dark pants with the gold tops.
Love the hats, though.
Gotta love the hats. That'll take you back to the era of the late 1800s, when the Pittsburgh Pirates were just becoming a baseball team. Boy, you talk about history in this country. You take the Pittsburgh Pirates all the way back to the late 1800s.
Yeah, rich tradition, some great ball players over the years.
Broxton takes one outside to even the count at 2-2. Broxton's 3 hits last night, 1 better than he had on the entire 10-game homestand, most recently in Milwaukee. So he's hoping to get that back going again, and shoots one just foul down the right side. Broxton batting at the top of the lineup for the second consecutive day. Jonathan VR is out again today as a sore knee after a collision on Friday night over at third base. And this one for Broxton falls fair, and he's on his way into second base. Here comes the throw, and he's in there sliding. A leadoff double for Keon Broxton. Good start for Milwaukee.
Well, so he continues to hit. 3 hits in yesterday's ball game. Broxton doing a good job in that leadoff spot last night. 3 hits, a walk, a couple of stolen bases, and an RBI. And a good start on this Sunday in Pittsburgh, taking a breaking pitch, doing a real good job pulling the hands in and shooting it into right center. And with good speed, able to get into second base with a leadoff double.
He has a good stride when he gets going. One of the fastest of the game is Keon Broxton. So he's out at second base for Orlando Arcia. Way inside to the Brewers shortstop. He too had a 3-hit game. We talked about it at the top of the telecast today. He had a 3-hit game yesterday. Good piece of hitting in that 8th inning.
Yeah, home run away from the cycle was Orlando Arcia.
Last 3 appearances were all hits in yesterday's game. And this one lining to Harrison. Dives on the bag. And he gets Broxton for the double play. Tough out there for Milwaukee.
Yeah, not a whole lot that Broxton could do about that. I mean, it was a bullet. He didn't stray too far off the bag. But look where Harrison is. 1 step is all it took, and Josh Harrison with the dive able to turn the double play. Boy, hit that one right on the nose, and off-speed pitch away.
And the second base umpire Brian Gorman calls him out. Craig Counsell just making sure. Very close play. And Gorman just in the way there. Boy, that,
I don't know. That's pretty close.
That is a tough angle for us to determine right there. But
the question is it worth it in the first inning? You don't want to lose your challenge right away.
That's right. And Craig Counsell says not worth it at this point. So the base is clear. 2 down now for Hernan Perez. Tough break for Milwaukee after the leadoff double by Broxton. Perez .270 on the season with 13 home runs and 48 RBIs. He's got 27 stolen bases to go with those, and last night tripled in the ball game on a ball that we were a little surprised Polanco didn't seem like he misplayed. He just didn't make a big play on it. So Perez able to take the extra base and get credited for a triple.
Yeah, Pirates have not been very good defensively in this series, and over the course of the season they've been one of the better defensive teams in the league.
Here's the 1-2. This one hammered to center field right at McCutchen. And the Brewers, after the leadoff double, end up going 1-2-3 thanks to the double play. Might be able to hear "We Are Family" in the background a little bit. That'll take you right to that uniform era we're talking about. Clint Hurdle in his 6th season as Pirates manager, looking for his 500th career win. Not going to happen in this series. He's got Josh Harrison at the top of the leadoff spot once again. Then it's Jaso today, and then McCutchen, Polanco, Marte, Rodriguez, Frazier, Stewart, and Brault. And in this series, boy, McCutchen's having himself quite a really 2 weekends in a row full of hits against Milwaukee. Chase Anderson is set to make his 26th start.
Yeah, tough luck loss last time out. It was against these Pirates. He gave up 2 runs and 5 in the 3rd. Actually, the 2 runs came on a couple of solo home runs in the 6th inning. But other than that, Anderson, very good stuff in his last time out.
Josh Harrison steps in, takes a strike. First pitch from Chase Anderson. Harrison at .275 on the season, .306 in the 32 games he's been in that leadoff spot. Add to that total here with a leadoff single here in the 1st against Chase Anderson.
Well, let's check out the Brewers Menards defense here this afternoon. You do have some changes. You got Jake Elmore getting a start out in left field. No Ryan Braun today. Broxton Santana. Domingo Santana gets a start out in right. Perez at 3rd. Arcia Jeanette up the middle. Carter at 1st. And Manny Pena had a big 2 RBI single late in the game last night. He's behind home plate.
There's Domingo Santana out and right. Started the season out there and has played very sparingly since because he's had a tough time staying healthy. That's been well documented. And now he's trying to finish up the final month of the season strong. He's actually had a difficult time out of the gates doing that as well. But the only way to get better and to improve is to get some playing time, and he's back out there for his 2nd start of the series.
And plus the other guys that Council's been able to put out there in right field have been doing a good job, both at the plate and defensively.
Neuenhuis and Broxton have been getting time out there. Perez. Ryan Braun with the day off today. John Jaso, the batter, he plays first today. And earlier this season, he was the everyday first baseman, and more recently here in the 2nd half of the season has been coming off the bench. Josh Bell has kind of taken over everyday duties at first base for Clint Hurdle. Jaso in there today, no surprise. Last week in Milwaukee when he made his only start, he homered off Chase Anderson.
Yeah, Chase Anderson gave up those 2 solo shots in the 6th inning to Jaso and Gregory Polanco. And that ended up chasing him out of the ball game.
Those 3-1 losses are tough to absorb, but that was the case last week. That's how everything went the Pirates' way against Milwaukee last week. A 4-game sweep, and their largest margin of victory in the biggest game was only 3 runs. We've seen a close series here. The Brewers winning 1-0 on Friday and 7-4 last night. Keeping a close eye on Harrison over at first base.
Trying to get a little bit of a foothold, early in the game after the ground crew wets down the field. It can get a little bit soupy out there and you might lose your footing. So Harrison trying to do the best he can to get some traction out there at first base.
19 stolen bases on the season for the Pirates' 2nd baseman. Jaso lines it to Carter, steps on the bag for the double play. I've seen 2 of those in the 1st inning, 1 for each team.
Turnabout's fair play, right? Harrison doubles off Broxton, and now Carter able to double off Josh Harrison. Jaso hits this one right on the nose, but right at Carter. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, but if you're both, even better.
Chris Carter over at first. Boy, the Brewers have played some very good defense over the first 2 games of this series. This one line right to Perez. Couple of quick lineouts here, and we are through one already here in Pittsburgh. No score. Our vantage point from the booth here at PNC Park, looking pretty good here on a Sunday afternoon. We are an inning into this ball game. 2 double plays, 2 lineouts, 1 for each team, as we go to the top of the 2nd inning right now, and Chris Carter's set to lead off for Milwaukee. And last night he hammered his 31st home run, our Powerball home run total for Chris Carter, who leads the Brewers in the long ball here in 2016.
They gave the Brewers a 2-1 lead. First pitch slider from Ivan Nova last night.
That was in the 6th inning last night for Chris Carter. He is fun to watch hit a home run to any field. I think out of his 31, I can only remember one that was I'll call this a cheap shot, but one that just cleared the fence. You know what I mean, though. I mean, he hits these monster home runs.
Yeah, no doubters, right?
Yeah.
Not too many wall scrapers. Interestingly enough, in Carter's night last night, 3 of his hits were pulled into left field. He didn't do much of that.
This one was against Stephen Grohl back in Milwaukee on August 29th. Yeah, not too many home runs to left for Carter, most to center or to right. There you go. He's hit 9 to left, but 19 the other way, straight away or the other way. Chris Carter this time strikes out. First strikeout of the game for Brolt.
Kind of interesting when you see that chart, the way you put it up center field. I mean, that covers a lot of ground in the outfield. I mean, when you consider center field, that's left center around to the right center field area, and right field pretty much from the gap over to the line. But a lot of those hits that you register as center field are actually gap to gap for Carter, and a lot of them in the right center.
The power alleys. Here's Domingo Santana. That'd be good to see Domingo Santana get his bat going in this game and for the rest of the season. Santana 0 for 4 in his start the other night. Just 3 for 14 on the homestand. And in the 12 games since coming off the DL, just 200 for Santana. Looking to get things going. Hits this one a long ways as McCutchen looks, goes to the wall, and it is gone. There you go. Domingo Santana. Santana, his 5th home run of the season, and Milwaukee out in front in the second inning.
Yeah, major mistake by Broad. That was right down the middle, and Santana doing a real good job not trying to pull it. Going right back through the middle and knocking one out of here in the center field. You know, it's 399 to center, but it plays a lot deeper than that for some reason. Not sure why, but Broad, as soon as he heard contact, he knew that was trouble, and the Brewers on the board first.
Long ways to go out there into dead center field. This one to right by Pena. Polanco gets underneath it, and there's the second out.
Polanco been pretty shaky out there in right field in this series.
He dropped one on Friday night in the corner. And last night we already talked about it on a hit by Perez, a high double off the wall. Very nonchalant playing a throw back, and it cost him an extra base. Not an error in the book, though.
He just grabbed it on one bounce and just held on to it, you know, for some reason, and just kind of floated it into the infield, and Perez realized it and ended up getting a triple out of it instead of a double.
Here's Scooter Gennett. Yeah, Perez ended up scoring an insurance run in that ninth inning. There's a look at Mr. Versatile in that Brewer dugout, playing third base again today with VR out for the second straight day. Gennett batting against the left-hander Brault, and against left-handed pitching. 23 hits in his last 75 at bats. That's good for a 307 clip for Scooter Gennett, including a home run. It's been amazing to see his production completely turn around against lefties compared to the first few seasons in the majors.
No, it all starts with a good eye at the plate, not swinging as many pitches out of the strike zone against lefties.
And this one, another base hit for Gennett against left-handed pitching. So 2-out single for Scooter.
You work the count. You get the count in your favor. It's a 3-1 pitch. Gets a fastball and hits it hard, doing a nice job centering on it on that high heater. Yeah, Brault not a hard thrower by any stretch. You know, 91, 92 maybe. Good changeup. Throw a slider and curveball, but the changeup's his best secondary pitch.
Yeah, Gennett overall this season 270 against lefties, 124 entering this season against left-handed pitchers. Big turnaround. Here's Jake Elmore. Elmore basically a pinch hitter on this roster since he's been up, making his second start in the last 2 weeks. Only his second start. Started that Sunday game in Seattle 2 weeks ago when the Brewers were on the road. Couple of plate appearances without a hit in this series. Finished up playing in right field in last night's game.
Yeah, Brewers a little short off the bench, you know, with VR banged up, so they brought up Yadiel Rivera. He's back from the minor leagues to give the Brewers a little bit more depth on the bench.
You'd figure the Brewers will go this one more game on Monday before they welcome in some September call-ups. The Colorado Springs minor league season will be over after Monday's game. Look for sure to add a third catcher.
They might see Andrew Susac, who the Brewers picked up from the Giants in that Will Smith deal. Normally teams in September, when the rosters expand, you want to go with that third catcher. We'll see.
Ball and 2 strikes. Elmore takes one inside to even it up. And Craig Counsell recently has not been afraid to use Manny Pena in the 7th or 8th inning, and used him yesterday in the 8th, and he came through with a big 2 RBI single.
Yeah, downside to that is when you use your extra catcher as a pinch hitter, you're left with nobody other than the starter. That's a little dangerous. Which is usually why the backup catcher or the other catcher, catcher not in the game, is always the last guy that a manager will use off the bench.
To right, Polanco has to come in now and does make a running catch. And that retires the Brewers here in the second inning, but not before they pick up a run. A home run from Domingo Santana, number 5 on the season. And Milwaukee has the early lead.
Home run gives the Brewers a 1-0 lead as they go for the sweep here at PNC Park in Pittsburgh. And Chase Anderson feels that over his last 7 starts, this is the most consistent that he's been pitching all season long. He's gone 3-1 over those last 7, an earned run average just over 3. And he credits that to a small adjustment that he made, switching over to the third base side of the rubber. He feels that it gives the hitters a different look on his fastball. And another thing that he's been working on with pitching coach Derek Johnson has been going to the curveball more. We know that he relies heavily on his fastball and his changeup, but he and Johnson feel that getting that 3-pitch mix, especially going to the curveball more heading into the offseason, they really feel that that'll be beneficial for him moving forward.
Because one of the big reasons that you want to use that curveball, because you know the scouting report says, I mean, Chase Anderson, fastball changeup. You see teams once in a while sitting on that changeup. So when he's able to throw that curveball for strikes, that gives him that extra weapon, and that's always very beneficial, especially this late in the season when there's really no surprises as to what a pitcher is going to do to a hitter.
Well, he's got himself back in a groove right now. Last 7 starts, you heard the numbers, 3-1 of the 306. I mean, you can't argue that. I think the big thing with Chase too is the extra pitches that he's had to throw each start. You know, he's not been able to get out of that past that 6th inning now for 11 out of his last 12 starts. So you know that some of these guys have it in them. It's just using a lot of pitches here and getting over that 5th and 6th inning hump.
Yeah, and that's the magic number, 5th, 6th inning. I mean, most teams are going to have struggles in those innings. You know, Von Nover, after pitching a really good game, you know, gave up the lead, and you know that was in the 6th inning. 3rd time through, always a trouble spot. That's where that curveball is going to come in handy for Chase Anderson. If he's able to throw that 4 strikes consistently, especially get a early strike in the count with that curveball. Just flip it in there for a strike. Something different to give him a look at.
Here's the 2-2 to Polanco, and he strikes out. Polanco having a tough series against Brewer pitching here in Pittsburgh this weekend. So Chase Anderson, he's on a roll right now. 32 strikeouts over his last 7 starts. He's looked very, very sharp to pick up those victories for Milwaukee.
Yeah, hasn't given up more than 3 earned runs in any one of those last 7 starts. And you remember he actually had a start against the Cubs. It was a short start. He got hit in the line drive. Actually worked out of the bullpen one day in Seattle. So he's been able to throw the baseball pretty well under some different circumstances for him.
He had a very good start to his Brewer first year in the first month or so, and then spiked down and then spiked back up, spiked back down, and is back on the upside right now. And it hasn't been so much a roller coaster for Anderson. It's been being very good or really struggling, and then being very good and then really struggling.
And you know, he'd love to be able to finish strong. I mean, that's the last impression you have of a guy entering the offseason, and if he's able to continue to make some pretty good starts, bode well for him going into next year.
Ahead 2 strikes against Marte. Fouls another one off.
When you think about it, going into the offseason and into spring training, the way it looks right now, there's going to be a lot of competition for that starting rotation next year. You might have
the 6-man going right now.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's all evaluation for Craig Counsell, David Stearns, everybody looking to see what they want to do going into next year. And these starts in September, very important for every one of these guys.
This one hammered to left. Elmore a few steps in, makes the out. So 2 down for Anderson.
Hey, mark your calendars for the Brewers mini marathon. This upcoming Saturday, runners can choose from a 5K, 10K, or half marathon route and celebrate with friends and family at a post-race tailgate party. Register today at brewersmini.com.
So it's going to be Rodriguez now, Sean Rodriguez.
What are you signing up for?
The shortest run possible. This one hammered to right center, and this one is caught up. No, it's dropped. Santana had it in his glove, it looked like, and then hit the wall. Rodriguez a stand-up double. Tough play out there.
Yeah, he covered a lot of ground. It looked like it was going to be a sure extra base hit for Rodriguez, but Santana with those long strides, making up a lot of ground very quickly. I think he might have had it in his glove, but you're right. When they hit the wall, I think he dropped it. Yeah, let's see. Let's get a pretty good look at it. And it bounds off the wall, and Rodriguez in with a double. Actually, it looked like off the thumb of the glove. Just didn't quite get there. Good effort, though.
2-out double for Rodriguez brings up Frazier. Left-handed hitter takes one inside. Adam Frazier pinch ran in the 9th inning of Friday's game. Started at third base back on August 28th in that Milwaukee series last weekend. Went 1 for 4. Had a 4-hit game against the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium back on August 14th. He's done well when he's had the chance to start in his 13 starts, batting .364. He's one of these guys you don't see very often, but when he gets his chance, he's very productive. A 1-0 Brewer lead here in the bottom of the 2nd inning, 2 down, a 2-out double by Rodriguez.
Yeah, giving Jordy Mercer the day off. Sean Rodriguez, the special utility guy, able to get a start at shortstop. Usually use him off the bench as a pinch hitter or coming in late for defense.
The second hit that Anderson has given up was a leadoff single to Harrison in the first, but he was doubled up. Now Manny Pena is going to go talk with Chase Anderson. And Scooter Gennett also coming in, make sure her defense is set.
Yeah, since he's been called up, Manny Pena really trying to get a sense for what these pitchers try to do. And As a result, when they're not sure, he usually goes out there and has a chat. He does that quite a bit throughout the game, but well, you'd rather have him do that than just not know what the pattern is and guess out there. You want to make sure what you're calling, especially in a situation like this.
Inside again. 2-2. To short, Arcia. A wild throw, and it goes wide, and everybody's safe. A rare miscue by the Brewers shortstop.
A pretty routine throw over to first base. I think he just dropped his arm a little bit and it sailed on him. And nothing real tricky about this play. So the arm goes down, and Chris Carter tried to swipe tag, but Frazier able to beat it, avoid the tag. So the inning continues. I guess Craig Counsell wanted to take a look at it to make sure that Carter actually missed him, which is typical.
And Counsell's going to challenge this. Hard to tell from the angle that we saw if it was that close, but the Brewers must have seen something to say, let's give it a shot.
Well, if the glove swipes the jersey, he's out. But if one of the strings of the glove hits the base runner, that doesn't count.
Maybe the foot.
Get him on the foot right there, right on the heel. Umpire's probably not looking down there. He's probably looking up around the back area. Yeah, good eye. The video crew down there in the dugout for the Brewers.
And he is out. So the tag applied to the foot. So the call overturned. And the Brewers win that challenge, and that ends the inning. So a big challenge there for Milwaukee. Ends a threat for the Pirates here in the second inning. The third inning, the pitcher Chase Anderson will lead off for the Brewers, and a big challenge call by Milwaukee overturns the call on the field and gets him out of a little mess in that second inning. So Stephen Brault out on the hill for the Pirates, ready for inning number 3. And he has struggled with first pitch strikes so far in the first 8 batters. He has not recorded one. And that can catch up to you in a real hurry.
Yeah, well, he's given up 3 hits and 2 line drive outs. I mean, Arcia lined out at a second base. Perez lined out to left. So when you get behind an account, that gives a hitter a pretty good indication you're going to come back with a fastball.
A Santana home run has aided Chase Anderson, so he bats in the third with a 1-0 lead. First pitch a strike. There it is for the first time in the ball game to Chase Anderson. Chase with 4 base hits and an RBI on the season for Milwaukee at the plate. Just missing outside. And that was a big call, a big win for Milwaukee to save the error, and it would have been first and third with 2 down.
I think it's surprising about that. You know, you'd think if Chris Carter thought he tagged him on the foot, he would have had some kind of reaction, right?
Did not see one.
Did not. And normally, I mean, that's the first sign a manager has, you know, to maybe look at a replay. I mean, sometimes guys are pretty animated. Sometimes they're wrong too. So that's not the only thing they go by. But you know, Chris Carter acted as though he did miss him.
And that was a quick review as well. 2-2 misses now to Anderson. Here's one more look at that swipe on the foot.
Back heel. Watch him right there. He gets him on the heel, and maybe Carter didn't feel the tag. Not sure.
3-2 to Anderson. Again, he stays alive, almost taking out Broxton in the on-deck circle right behind the screen there.
On-deck circle is pretty close to home plate here in this ballpark.
It's tight in here, isn't it? And Anderson, after a good at-bat against Brault, strikes out.
Not a lot of room where that on-deck circle is, and the walk to home plate. Not a lot of foul territory in this ballpark. That's one advantage a hitter has. That's about it in this place.
Well, Arcia has to be on the lookout here. He's in the on-deck circle as Keon Broxton comes to the plate here in the third inning. 1 down. He doubled to lead off. And then he was doubled up on the line drive out by Arcia. Keon Broxton, good numbers against his Pittsburgh Pirate team. Had him last weekend and so far here in this series. He said he's thankful to the Pirates for drafting him and giving him a chance to get this far. But now he wants to beat him. He's in a different uniform right now. That's how it is for a young kid like this.
Yeah, different uniform and a much different hitter than he was early in the season. He has really come along nicely, quickly as a matter of fact. Changing his stance, changing his approach. Not easy to do when you're young and trying to make a team.
Inside to Broxton, 2-2. Brault, a good pace out there on the mound. Here's the 3-2. And he strikes out Broxton. Consecutive strikeouts here.
Took a little off, 85 miles an hour, little maybe slider changeup, not sure, but really took a lot off of that pitch and had Broxton way out in front of it.
Well, here's Orlando Arcia last night. Boy, he had himself quite a night. A triple to get his bat going, and then a double. Those were to left. And he's batting here in the third inning, and then he had that big RBI single to right field late in the ball game in that 8th inning.
Man, that was on an 0-2 pitch. Starting to find that comfort level up the plate. '28th start at shortstop in this game for the Brewers.
Batting .333 with 7 RBIs over his last 10 contests alone. Last night was his first 3-hit night in the majors.
He's got 21 hits, and in those 21 hits, he's got 11 RBIs. That's not a bad ratio if you think about it. I mean, he's driven in a fair amount of runs in a short period of time.
You know, he's dialing it in with runners on base,
yeah,
right?
Hitting essentially out of the bottom of the order most of the time. He's up there today.
And he draws a walk. 2-out walk to Arce after consecutive strikeouts for Brault. And he had some speed up there on the base paths now as Perez steps in. Arce with 3 stolen bases in his limited time of the major so far. Brewers lead the league in stolen bases with 152, well ahead of Cincinnati at 120.
I would imagine the field's not quite as muddy. Remember, Josh Harrison had a tough time getting a feel out there on the bases. Yeah, the sun beating down on the field and probably getting back to normal at this point.
They do drench it just before the game, don't they?
Yeah, especially with a base stealing team in town. Don't think that doesn't have something to do with it.
Well, I think we've seen that at a few ballparks.
Right.
I recall Wrigley Field seemed pretty muddy out at second base.
Exactly. Yep. Put a little extra water on it. Don't give these base stealers good traction.
I remember Kirk Neuenhuis going head first in and taking a big face plant because his body wouldn't slide through that mud out there at second base.
Yeah, one of those Prince Fielder head first slides.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There it is out there. That's the area. You want to avoid that if you're a Brewer runner early on, that's for sure. On the road.
Mm-hmm.
Two balls and 1 strike to Perez. Slaps one to third. Frazier, an errant throw. Perez runs into Jaso. Arcia now going home, and he is going to slide in, save Perez to second, and he is out. But the Brewers score a run. Looked like a routine play, but hold on here. We may have an interference.
Yeah, it is interference. I think he's going to get second base.
Now this inning is not over. And now the Pirates are saying if there's interference, does the run score?
Oh, yeah. It's obstruction. You let the play continue. It's not a dead ball. After the play is over, then you place runners. Yeah, the umpires are going to get together. Let's see if this is incidental contact. I mean, you can see Jaso going after the baseball. Not a very good throw. Jaso going after the baseball, and Hernan Perez just stops in his tracks. And by the time Jaso picks it up, Arcia comes around to score all the way from first base. Well, let's see what they come up with here.
Brian Gorman, the crew chief, minding second, and Mark Carlson was at first.
When a fielder interferes with a runner, it's obstruction. That's different than interference. Interference, it's a dead ball, and the umpires place runners. With obstruction, it's not the case. The play continues, and then you decide where Perez should end up being. And I would imagine he's got to be at second base, right? Or they put him at first. They're going to say the run scores, and they're saying Perez made no effort to get to second base. He was going to stay at first.
And counsel wants to know at this point probably why Perez isn't at second.
Because it didn't look like he was making an effort to get over there right away. I think he got kind of shaken up on the collision with him and Jaso. So Craig Counsell saying, how can you not put him at second base? And I kind of agree with him. But the good news is the run's going to score. Umpires have to decide where would the runners have been had the collision not taken place. And I think if the collision hadn't taken place, I think Arcia is going to end up at third base because the collision kind of put Jason in a tough spot. He had to collect himself, and by the time he got the baseball, Arcia was able to score all the way from first. Now Craig Counsell is saying, why isn't Perez at second base?
Well, the question is, as well as errant as that throw was, without the collision, Perez is easily at second base, you would think.
Oh, now they're going to put Arcia back at third. Okay. Not quite sure why that is. Arcia's got to go back to third.
Oh, that's a tough break for Milwaukee right there.
I don't get that one. I don't understand that at all. That shouldn't be the case. You let the play run its way out. See, Arcia is at second base. All right, the play's not dead. You keep it going. That's obstruction. And now Jaso retreats after the baseball, and I don't know why Arcia is at third base. We gotta find that one out.
Well, this is very bizarre because clearly that obstruction looked like it completely stopped the play because it's first and third.
I don't blame Craig Counsell. I don't understand this ruling. I agree with him. This doesn't make any sense. I understand you keep Perez, at first base because you can't penalize him on obstruction and have him, get thrown out at second. But, Arcia just kept running around the bases, and I think that run should score. Going to go after the crew chief once again, and Craig Counsell's not going to be satisfied here.
Well, with our era of replay, and this is not a reviewable situation here. This is a rare moment to see a manager argue with an umpire.
Second time they're having this discussion. I don't think the umpiring crew is going to change their mind.
Craig Counsell clearly not happy, and he has been ejected.
I agree with him. Not quite sure why Arcia is at third base. And now maybe Pat Murphy, the bench coach, wants to have a little discussion. Interpretations are you can protest, and that's what this is here.
Very interesting development going on here in the Brewer half of inning number 3. As Perez put the ball in play, and an errant throw by Frazier at third base leaves Perez there right now, and Arcia, who continued to run, appeared to be safe at home, but now is placed back at third base. And it's interesting, the Brewers bench coach Pat Murphy out here to argue similar circumstances that Craig Counsell got ejected for here. Well, you don't see this very often in this day and age of baseball anymore. This is a lengthy delay.
Well, here's the rule, 7.06. I understand why they're keeping Perez. If a play is being made on an instructed runner, or if the batter runner is obstructed before he touches first base, the ball is dead and all runners shall advance without liability to be put out to the bases they would have reached in the umpire's judgment if there had not been an obstruction. So this is the umpire's opinion. This is Brian Gorman saying that Arcia would not have scored had the contact not been made. That's what Craig Counsell's arguing about right there.
Well, now Pat Murphy, the Brewers bench coach, takes over for the rest of the game with Counsell being ejected. Of course, he managed on an interim basis with San Diego a year ago.
So you see Arcia is beyond second base. So I guess he never stops running, and in Brian Gorman's opinion, I don't agree with it. Either is Craig Counsell.
Runner goes, and Paris wipes second base.
So the rest of that rule, 7.06 in the rule book, any preceding runner forced to advance by the award of bases as the penalty for obstruction shall advance without liability to be put out. So in other words, Craig Counsell is saying he would have scored regardless of whether there had been obstruction or not. So it's a judgment call, not a discrepancy on the rules. So it's not. You can't protest a call like that.
Well done explaining that, Rock.
Well,
you know the rules better than anybody. Carter to left, Marte for the final out, and a very bizarre ending to the Brewer half of inning number 3. It looked like they were going to get at least a run, and they get none. Go here as the Pirates go to bat, a 1-0 lead for Milwaukee, and a very bizarre ending to get that final out in the top of the 3rd inning. The Brewers come up empty, and let's just hope that doesn't come back to haunt them as this game goes on.
It's a judgment call by the crew chief, Brian Gorman. In his mind, had there not been that contact, Arcia wouldn't have scored. Very debatable.
Chris Stewart leads off for the Pirates against Chase Anderson.
I guess no matter what he called, one of the managers would have been out there arguing. Would have been Clint Hurdle if Brian Gorman allowed Arcia to score, which it looked like he did initially. It looked like he pointed to home plate saying, yeah, the run scores, but then they got together again, talked it over, and I guess somebody convinced Brian Gorman that he wouldn't have scored had the collision not happened.
Well, it's interesting, the judgment calls that remain in baseball, and yet the plays that are reviewable. Sometimes it can be a stark contrast.
There's no way to review that, though.
Well, my point is there's still so much judgment left in baseball, and there's still maybe too much replay.
I agree with you.
Stewart draws it full against Chase Anderson. Reinstated from the disabled list on Friday. Has not played with the Pirates since July 1st, and he strikes out.
Chris Stewart's always been considered a very good defensive catcher. He can run into one for you once in a while.
Here's the pitcher, Brolt. His 5th plate appearance in his young major league career. This is his 4th start. And in his very first plate appearance, in his first big league at bat, he singled off Mike Leake of the Cardinals at Busch Stadium back on July 5th. Good athlete. Second time he has faced the Brewers. Back on July 29th in Milwaukee. Took the loss in a 6-inning outing. Gave up 3 earned runs in that game. Right back in Anderson. And there's 2 down. The 2016-17 Milwaukee Bucks schedule has been released, and with a half-season ticket package, you're guaranteed a ticket to all the top matchups, including opening night on October 26th and games against the world champion Cleveland Cavaliers, Golden State Warriors, and Chicago Bulls. Visit foxsportswisconsin.com and click on upcoming events for details. NBA season right around the corner, it seems. Bucks hoping to have a good year as they get themselves a new arena built in the next couple of years.
I'll tell you, those teams in the NBA Finals don't get much of an off season, do they?
I don't think Golden State needs much of an off season. They had a pretty good addition to their team. They only got better, it seems, and of course the Cleveland Cavaliers win it. Kevin Durant, a Golden State Warrior. It's hard to believe.
Good pool, isn't it?
It's pretty good. Going to be an interesting NBA season. 1-1 the count on Harrison. Brewers looking for the sweep against the Pirates here on this Sunday afternoon. This one hammered to right. Santana goes back, slides, can't make the catch. And the ball bounces out of play, so a ground rule double. Santana just getting up now. Tight corner there. Rock mentioned there's not a lot of room in foul territory in this ballpark.
Yeah, not a lot of room behind home plate, around by the dugouts, and certainly down the lines. Not a lot of room to play with down there. Santana just not able to get there, so Harrison now 2 for 2. This ball slicing away from Santana as he gets there. That's pretty close to being a foul ball. I think the Brewers are taking a look at it. Not going to be able to tell on that angle. The problem with the angle that we are going to get to Santana is probably between the cameras and the baseball.
Well, Pat Murphy is usually the one on the phone talking to the guys back in the video room. Now he's the acting manager for today's game, and he's still works that duty on the phone and decides to challenge the call. So the Brewers have already won one challenge here today. A video challenge, that is. They lost an argument with the umpires last inning, and it cost the manager a job for the day.
You may win a review, but you'll never win an argument with the umpires. Just remember that.
That's a very good take on baseball, my friend.
Always have the last word. Right, wrong, or indifferent.
Well, the last challenge the Brewers won ended the second inning, and they're trying to end the third inning the same way.
See where the line is. Can you even see the line here? Does it hit Santana? And where's the line? Can't tell.
Doesn't look like it hit Santana.
Double.
All right, so the call is confirmed.
They say the call is confirmed, not stands, but what angle did they see? And here's the celebration for Josh Harris. A little bit delayed. Always celebrates when he gets a hit.
Two-out base runner at second base for Jaso.
Not exactly what New York saw to say that the call is confirmed. It could say it stands because you couldn't tell, which is what we saw.
Big hack by Jaso on that inside pitch from Anderson. Jaso lined into a double play in the first inning. Anderson steps off the mound to get his jersey readjusted, and it looks like he's taking off a necklace.
And he broke. Wardrobe malfunction.
Well, he has a pretty strict wardrobe he wears to the ballpark on the day he starts. Wears his late father Robert's outfit of that pink polo and the jeans, the belt, the boots. Spent some time with Chase Anderson on the homestand going over that routine. He also inscribes letters of his late father and family members on the pitching mound as well. Jaso battles. 2-2 the count.
A good fastball in. It's another thing he's been doing a good job of as of late is working the inside part of the plate, left-handers and right-handers. Really opens up, you know, the change-up and the curveball when you speed that bat up on the inside corner.
Chase Anderson steps off, trying to stop a rally here with 2 outs by the Pirates. A 1-0 game. Good stop by Pena behind the plate. Full count now to the Pirate first baseman. And the 3-2. Belted right into that shift to Scooter Gennett in the grass in short right for the final out. And Domingo Santana coming up to lead off the fourth.
Brewers going for the sweep, and before the game today, Craig Counsell announcing that the Brewers called up infielder Yadiel Rivera from AAA Colorado Springs. The move made because they're short on the bench, and so they just want to make sure they have all of their positions covered. And an update on Jonathan Villar, they said he is feeling better today with that knee soreness from the collision Friday night. He'll continue to be day-to-day, so they'll use Rivera all over the infield, whether it's second, third, or shortstop. And Counsell said the good news with September rosters being expanded, you can be more aggressive with decisions with more players available, so Rivera will be part of that mix here over the next few weeks.
All right, Sophia, good to have him back in the mix here with the Brew Crew. Made his first opening day lineup. Now Domingo Santana, who homered for the game's only run, will lead off the Brewer fourth. A booming home run to center field for Domingo Santana. Talk about a long time coming between home runs. June 4th was his last home run at Philly. Here's a look at that second inning home run from Santana.
Yeah, fastball right down the middle. He hit it right back into center field.
This time a ground out to short to open up the fourth inning.
Another guy that needs a good finish to the season.
Yes, indeed.
Domingo Santana needs to show that he's healthy, and he needs to show that he's going to be able to swing the bat. It's been a disappointing season for him.
Well, he's come up just inches shy of making two spectacular plays in the outfield today already. That one to the wall in right center, and then the one most recently into the corner there where he was sliding in. Well, if he starts coming up with those types of plays too, that'll only build his confidence. Those are the things that the Brewers are looking at as well. It's not just what he's doing with the bat, it's in combination with playing right field. They created a spot for him by moving Ryan Braun over to left, so Santana could take over right field here in 2016, and he has not been able to stay healthy enough. So Pena bats with one down. He flew out to right his first time up. Speaking of the bat, this guy's playing the bat very well. 306 coming in with a home run and 8 RBIs in very limited play. He was called up when Jonathan Lucroy was traded away in the deadline on August 1st. Here's the 3-1. Big swing and a miss. The fastball by Brault tops out at about 92. 90 there in the gun. And Pena draws a 1-out walk. Another walk to the Brewers totals. Their second in the majors behind the Cubs. That was walk number 521 on the season for Milwaukee. And here is Scooter Gennett. Scooter continues to hit left-handed pitching very well. Had a base hit off Brault in the second inning. There's a strike from Brault on the first pitch to Scooter Gennett. Scooter making the final out of that last half inning in that shift. He plays a lot in the grass out there in right field.
You see a ball hit like that off the bat of Jay, so you kind of look down thinking that's going to be a base hit, but where Gennett was, he's there a lot for left-handed hitters.
This time Scooter goes down on strikes. So 2 down here in the Brewer 4th.
Hey, the Crew and the Cubs collide in a 3-game series tomorrow through Wednesday as Chris Bryant and the rest of the Cubs head to Miller Park for the last time this year. Great seats are still available at Brewers.com.
There's Jake Elmore. This is Brault's 4th big league start, debuted on July 5th at St. Louis. He forgot his glove in that game. Did you know that? He had to borrow Jeff Locke's. He says he's kind of forgetful. Being a little too excited for his first major league game.
How do you forget your glove?
He forgot his glove. He went to go get it after he got to the ballpark and prepped inside the clubhouse and went to his locker, and he says, "Where's my glove? I can't find my glove." Apparently somewhere along the line, wherever you forget a glove, it was forgotten, and he borrowed Jeff Locke's. Called strike 3 on Jake Elmore. A couple of strikeouts for the final 2 outs in the 4th inning. It's still 1-0 Milwaukee.
It's a 1-0 lead for the Brewers. We go now. Our greater coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. For the Red Sox last night, it was Rick Porcello adding to his wins total. 19 on the season now, 7 innings of work for him, giving up just 2 earned runs with 2 strikeouts in a win against the A's last night. And Albert Pujols continues to climb up the home run all-time list. He is now 9th all-time with 588 after hitting 2 home runs last night. And big news for the Dodgers, Clayton Kershaw made his first rehab start last night in A-ball. He went 3 innings, gave up just 1 hit, 5 strikeouts, very sharp over 34 pitches, and he will return Friday against Miami. And he's been out since June 26th, so that'll be a big addition for the Dodgers as they continue their playoff push here down the stretch.
How about that? That would be something. And it's amazing that the Dodgers in first place without Clayton Kershaw, fighting their way past the Giants. They open up today with a 2-game lead in the National League West.
Everybody's stepping up in LA, right? I mean, the big guy is down and Dodgers still playing some pretty good baseball.
Well, they've done their part in the Giants, of course, coming out of the gates after the All-Star break, not playing well at all. Trying to get their act back together. Stopped by Jeanette, and he loses the ball. Diving attempt out there to make the stop, and it had to be a quick release. Jeanette way over on the shortstop side of second base, where he's not normally positioned unless he's on the shift.
Well, and he probably wouldn't have been able to make the throw in time anyway. I mean, look how far on the second base, third base side of the bag he is, and even if he comes up throwing, I don't think he's going to be able to get McCutchen. Base hit for Andrew McCutchen. He's hit the ball sharply both times.
That was McCutchen's 12th hit If you take the weekend series in Milwaukee and this weekend series, his 12th hit against Brewer pitching. Just in that short amount of time. But the Brewers will take a single instead of that home run that they saw in yesterday's game. Here's Polanco. So a runner at first and nobody out here in the 4th inning for the Pirates, who trail by a run. Polanco struck out back in the 2nd. Fly ball, left field, routine for Elmore. There's one down. Brewers have held Polanco hitless in 8 appearances in this series. Pirates home run leader and RBI leader.
Hey, you want to get out of town before that guy gets hot. Of course, Marte's been swinging the bat, McCutchen, Harrison, but they haven't been able to put up too many runs. Let's talk about those hits that McCutchen has got against Milwaukee. 3 of those hits came on Friday, and none of them produced a run. That's the way you want to face McCutchen with nobody on.
Here's Marte with one down. Well, Friday and Saturday combined, the Pirates have 16 hits, but they've also left 17 runners on base. Losing 1-0 Friday and scoring 4 runs in the loss, 7-4 loss yesterday. Their offense not clicking, and this weekend anyway, their defense not clicking against Milwaukee.
They just haven't looked very good. And they need to start putting things together if they hope to get back into postseason.
Well, they have lost 5 in a row this week since sweeping Milwaukee last weekend. Let's see if they can turn 2, and they do. The Brewers behind Chase Anderson playing some nice defense there. Their 2nd double play in 4 innings. On the Pirates, nothing, and it's time for our carsoup.com trivia question. This is going to be a good one. Brewers bullpen catcher Lee Tunnell made his major league debut for the Pirates on this day in 1982 at Dodger Stadium. Which pitcher did he oppose that day? I'm sure that's a snap. You know who that is.
82. Big year for the Brew Crew. It wasn't Don Sutton. He was with Milwaukee.
Yep. I thought about him right away too, but he was with the Brewers.
Yep.
Who comes up with this stuff?
A very smart person. That's really good on a computer.
There you go. All right, here come the Brew Crew. Let's see what they can do in this inning. And it's Chase Anderson, first pitch, lining out to right. Going right after Brault, coming up empty. Brewers continue this game without their manager Craig Counsell, who was ejected in the third inning. That was his second ejection of the season, by the way. So Pat Murphy, the bench coach, takes over that dugout for the rest of this game.
Managerial experience with the San Diego Padres last year, so a familiar seat.
Keon Broxton bats with one down, top of the order for the Brewers. He doubled back in the first and struck out in the third. This one lined into right, a base hit. And it gets all the way to the wall. Broxton charging into second base. He'll settle for a one-out double. Keon Broxton, his second hit of the game.
A bullet down the line in right. Boy, he looks good at the plate. Yeah, double into the gap in right center. Now double down the line in right field. Check out the pitch. It's exactly where you need to hit it. Waits back nicely on it, and Keon Broxton able to get the Brewers going here in the fifth. A one-out double. So good speed on the bases for the Brewers. Early in the season, he would have just rolled over on that. That would have been an easy 6-3 put out, but you know, just throwing those hands at the baseball much better these days because of that new stance. Feeling comfortable at the plate. Driving that ball to the opposite field.
Here's Arcia. There goes Broxton. Throw down the third is in time.
And the Brewers are out of challenges. They can't review it, so it is what it is at this point for Milwaukee. Well, trying to steal third base. That's not a bad play with one out. You'd like to be able to get into third base, so a fly ball might be able to score you. Kind of from a dead standstill. Good throw by Chris Stewart. Pretty close, but the Brewers can't challenge it.
Yep, they lost their challenge last inning.
You might have been safe, but they can't really look at it anymore. They lost their challenge.
Very close play at third. And now two down, and the base is cleared for Arcia. 3-0 count to the Brewers shortstop. He walked his last trip to the plate in the third inning. And the 3-0 misses, so a couple of walks drawn by the Brewers shortstop. So he's on board with two down for Perez. And the Brewers lost that challenge, and that ball hit down the right field line into the corner.
Must have saw an angle that we did not have. Of course, we have every angle, but apparently they saw something down in that dugout to prompt a review, and they lost it.
That was only the second time, by the way, that Broxton was caught trying to steal a base this year. 23 attempts.
It's not a bad move, trying to steal a base with one out. You don't want to do it with no outs or one or two outs. You don't want to make the first or third out at third base, but second out is a little bit different situation.
And Stewart's going to come out and talk to his pitcher, Brault. He walked Arcia on 4 straight pitches and is behind 2-0 now to Perez. This is Brault's 4th big league start, and in 2 of his appearances, he has gone 4 innings, and another appearance, the one against Milwaukee, Back in July, he went 6 innings, and now Ray Searage, the pitching coach, is coming out. I think Ray Searage and Chris Bosio might take the longest to walk back and forth out of any pitching coach in the league.
Well, just trying to stall for time to see how quickly Jared Hughes can get ready in the bullpen. And now Clint Fagan's going to go out and break it up.
A lot of dead time in this ball game. Greg Counsell had a long argument. Pat Murphy had a long argument. We've had a couple of replay challenges. There's the pitch count per inning by Broltz. He's had the work. He's at 83 already here in the 5th inning. Perez to third, and he'll take the lead runner for the final out. So he gets out of it here in the 5th inning. And the Brewers still lead at 1-0.
To a 1-0 lead, and you can join the Brewers Community Foundation for an evening with Hank Aaron on September 24th at Miller Park. Funds raised will support Hank Aaron's Chasing the Dream Foundation, which helps children with extraordinary talents achieve their dreams. This annual event is always a fan favorite and sells out quickly, so be sure to go to brewers.com/BCF to register today.
All right, Sophia, always good to see Hank Aaron. That is for sure. And Chase Anderson back out to start the bottom of the 5th for Milwaukee. He's been clinging to a 1-0 lead. Faces Rodriguez to start out, and Chase Anderson in his pitch count very efficient so far. These are the middle portions of the game where we had talked about it a little while ago about how tough it is to get through that 5th and 6th inning. But right now he's looking pretty sharp in today's game.
Yes, he is. I mean, he's been locating his fastball well. He's had good sink on his fastball right there. That pitch right there has been a big one for him today. Not sure how many change-ups he's thrown. I think it's been more curveballs and breaking pitches than change-up today.
This one fouled away to even the count at 2-2. Rodriguez doubled back in the 2nd inning. It was a 2-out double. He was stranded at 2nd base. Rolls went over to short. Arcia, quick throw for the 1st out. Chase Anderson, his 27th start of the season. This is his 74th career start. He's made 75 appearances. Remember that only appearance he made out of the bullpen in his short tenure was in Seattle, but he was trying to bounce back after the previous start, getting hit in the first inning in the leg against the Cubs at Wrigley Field. Chase Anderson made his major league debut in 2014. So he's still learning some things out on the mound, trying to develop as a big league starter. Of course, acquired in that trade during the offseason that sent Gene Segura to Arizona.
Well, it comes down to location for Anderson, and that's obvious because he doesn't throw all that hard. He's got to keep his pitches down in the zone, and when he's able to do that, that's when he's going to have a good outing, good, nice, long outing. Pitch into the 6th, maybe the 7th inning. That'd be nice today.
Fourth start this year against the Pirates already. He's done very well on the season, a 3.14 ERA in those 3 previous starts. Jeanette, nice stop in the grass, and again he can't hold the baseball. The second time that's happened in this game as Scooter Jeanette makes a nice play with his glove.
Yeah, something about that transfer out there. I mean, if he gets it in his hand and makes a throw, he's got the out. And you can understand the first one. I don't think he had to play anyway. Now this one here, I mean, you got to make that play. The hard part of this play is over. Right here he goes down. It's just a matter of getting the ball out of your glove and get it on its way to first base. He's upset with himself. He knows he should have made that play.
So Frazier safe at first, 1 down for the catcher Stewart. Number 8 hitter against Chase Anderson. No error there, but you don't want to give the Pirates that extra out to work with. Now Chase Anderson has to make sure he's careful with numbers 8 and 9 coming up. Maybe get a double play ball here. Brewers have turned 2 double plays for him so far this game.
Hey, Clint Hurdle's sent his pitcher out on deck, but that doesn't mean he's going to hit. Not showing his hand whether he's going to go to the bench or not. Although Matt Joyce is down there with a bat and a helmet on already.
He is a prime-time pinch hitter, not only for the Pirates, but his success in this league, too. You know, we'll see him at some point. Brault at 84 pitches. There was activity in the Pirates bullpen when the Brewers were batting in their half of the 5th.
And Jared Hughes was getting loose. You figure he might be the guy to come in should they go to the bench.
Up in the infield. Carter and Jeanette. It's going to be Jeanette. Oh, he dropped the ball, and infield fly rule.
No. Ball just drops. You get this faster base runner off the bases. And now Stewart at first base instead of Frazier.
Well, that worked.
I'm telling you. It's almost like you're in the Twilight Zone, right? In this series, it's stuff you never see. Scooter Gennett lets it drop. Easy out at second base. Chris Stewart able to make it to first. So you get a little bit of an advantage as far as base runner's speed with Stewart at first. It's not going to be Joyce. It looks like it's going to be Bell to be the pinch hitter. It really is amazing some of the things we've seen in this series. And most of it coming in the field.
I think this game alone, we've seen a lot.
Craziness.
Good news is, Rock, we're only in the 5th inning. Could be plenty more to come.
Much
Stay
more
tuned.
to see, right? Stay tuned is right.
All right, so Brault, the starter, is out. Here's Bell. He's been getting a regular routine as the starter over at first base. Did not start this game and now comes in to pinch hit in the 5th inning. Goes right after that first pitch from Chase Anderson and fouls it away. He's played well in this ballpark. In the 10 games he's played here, 8 for 22. That's a .364 clip. Stop by Pena. Has reached base safely in 15 of his 18 big league games so far. And he's also got a good eye at the plate, drawing 9 walks in his last 9 starts.
I started the first 2 games of the series in the number 2 spot in the batting order.
Rolls this one into Gennett into short right for the out. And Chase Anderson gets through the 5th inning.
On Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by Hubie and Abraham. 1-800-800-5678. Hubie and Abraham. Tell them you mean business.
Back in Pittsburgh, top of the 6th we go. The Brewers a 1-0 lead over the Pirates. Nobody sees sports quite the way Colin Cowherd and Jason Whitlock do. The brains to know, the guts to say. Catch Colin and Jason as they team up for FS1's daily sports talk show. Speak for yourself, starting tomorrow at its new time of 4 p.m. Central. Pitching change, Juan Nicasio in for his 38th appearance out of the mound to start the 6th inning here for the Pirates.
Well, 38th appearance, and 12 of those first 37 were starts. He's been much better out of the bullpen. Second appearance in the series. He loaded the bases in the 9th inning on Friday, but got out of that mess. Hard thrower, good fastball, throws a slider to go with it. More strikeouts than innings pitched, but he has allowed 13 home runs.
And right out of the gates, he faces Chris Carter. 0 for 2 so far in this game. Brewers leader in home runs and tied with Ryan Braun for the RBI lead with 74 apiece. So Brault is out. Not a bad outing for him at all on the mound. 5 innings though in this one as Carter hammers that first pitch, and this one will go all the way to the wall. And Carter will open up the 6th inning with a leadoff double.
Yeah, he hits that ball hard out there, out of the reach of Andrew McCutchen in center. Not messing around first pitch. Fastball right down the middle, and Chris Carter able to take a nice easy swing, good balance, and hits a rope out there into center field. It's such a nice easy swing, and the ball just jumps off his bat. He's so strong, and his first hit tonight after a 4-hit game last night.
That's his 5th hit in this series for Carter, so he's swinging a good bat here on the road. He has great numbers at Miller Park. Good to see him put up numbers like this on the road. That brings up Domingo Santana, who's responsible for the Brewers and the game's only run by hitting his 5th home run back in the 2nd inning. Our at the plate presented by Wendy's shows Santana's numbers so far. His first home run since early June. And he smacks one in the right, a base hit, and Carter rounds third. Will be held up there as the throw comes in, and a good start to the inning off the reliever Nicasio. The first 2 reach.
Well, weighed back nicely on that breaking pitch. He left it up to Nicasio, and boy, Santana with a nice approach. He's trying to hit the right field to get Carter over to first. Does one better, or should say get him over to third. Does one better to get him to third. He gets a single. So a nice swing by Domingo Santana. Brewers set up nicely here in this 6th inning.
2 hits for Santana in this game. Here's Manny Pena, the Brewer catcher. Officially 0 for 1. He walked back in the 4th inning. Facing Nicasio for the first time. Misses down and away. His only major league experience before this call up here since August 1st. 5 games with Kansas City. He's making the most of his time up here with his bat, that's for sure.
He got a big pinch hit last night, drove in a couple of runs, and that Brewers 4-run 8th inning.
Yeah, that was a 2 RBI hit, and his first career home run was back on August 12th. That was also a pinch hit 3-run home run. Guy hits well with runners in scoring position, runners on base. That's what you like.
Well, needs to make contact, hit a ground ball up the middle. He might roll into a double play, but it looks like the Pirates are satisfied with giving up a run for 2 outs. Unless it's hit right on the nose.
Carter over at third base. Santana at first. Here's the 1-2. It's high 2-2. Brault 5 innings on the mound as the starter. 4 hits, the 1 run. That home run by Santana did have 3 walks and 5 strikeouts. Pena strikes out. That's a big out there. One down now for Scooter Gennett.
And one of the issues the Brewers have had this year in situations like this, the swing and the miss, a lot of strikeouts in these spots. When you need to make contact, easier said than done.
Here's Gennett, 1 for 2 so far in this game. Singled back in the second, struck out in the fourth. Ocasio and the Pirates into jam here in the Brewers' 6th. First 2 reach. Big strikeout to follow by Ocasio, and now it's Gennett. The Brewers are run on 6 hits. The Pirates have not scored yet. They have 5 hits in this game. Brewers looking to tie their season high 4-game road winning streak today. It's been a tough go on the road for Milwaukee this year. 22-41.
Looking to win their 60th game of the year here today.
There's a strike to Gennett to even it up. The Pirates, meanwhile, somehow got to look in the mirror and realize they're only 2.5 games out of the wild card picture. They have not played with any sense of urgency in this series. We sure saw it last weekend in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Then they went to Chicago and all the air went out of their balloon, that's for sure. The Cubs swept them.
Pirates have lost 5 in a row.
Here's the wild card picture. St. Louis leading in their game today against the Reds. They're in Cincinnati. 5-2 is their score in the 7th inning.
The teams they're chasing all have been losing, so they although they've had a difficult time, they haven't really lost a whole lot of ground.
Could be a whole lot worse when you've lost 5 straight games, especially this time of year. That sweep against Milwaukee put them within a half game of that final wild card spot. So really they've only lost 2 games this entire week and haven't won a game.
I know if he's back. Hey, just look at Eddie and tell Domingo to watch. Look at Eddie and tell Domingo to watch.
Ball and 2 strikes to the Brewers second baseman. Ocasio delivers. Just misses low. Bringing some heat at 97 against Gennett. Trying to produce a run here in the Brewers' 6th. Slap foul again.
Yeah, big fastball that time. That was 97. Scooter able to get a piece of it.
Brought some heat on the last 2 pitches against Gennett.
You can see why this guy Nicasio has been so effective out of the pen. He's essentially a 2-pitch guy. Has gone 4-0 and a .237 earned run average out of the bullpen. Good stuff.
Ocasio delivers and Gennett pops one up in the infield. And Jaso calls off his catcher for the second out. Two big outs after the Brewers' first two batters reach. A strikeout and now a pop out to the first baseman. Now it's going to be up to Jake Elmore with two down. Elmore 0 for 2. And it's low ball 1. Giants and Cubs are battling at Wrigley Field, a 1-1 game there in the top of the 5th. Chicago 87-48. Brewers will see them tomorrow in Milwaukee, the first of a 3-game series.
Day game at the ballpark tomorrow. 2 night games, and then the Brewers right back out on the road.
Remember, that's a noon start tomorrow if you're going over to Miller Park. Got a national TV game tomorrow, so we're back with you on Tuesday and Wednesday nights in Milwaukee. Zach Davies going to pitch tomorrow. Two balls and 1 strike.
Hey, wonder what the Brewers are going to do if Elmore walks here. You got Chase Anderson on deck. Bullpen's busy. Got to believe they go to the bench trying to get some runs.
Well, they've got 10 pitchers in the bullpen, and Gravy is warming up now. They've got the arms, and they've used quite a few here in the first 2 games. And there's a strike to Elmore. Six relievers used in each of the last 2 games by the Brewers. Chase Anderson pitching pretty well here today. 5 strong innings so far. He's only given up 5 hits. A couple of double plays have helped. Here's the 3-2 to Elmore. Spoils another one. Couple of strikeouts for Anderson, but most importantly, he's not given up a walk yet. He's been pretty sharp today.
Yes, he has.
But you're right, Rock. If Elmore reaches, bases will be loaded. And the battle continues.
And Santana getting his wind sprints in out there at first base. Running on the 3-2 pitch, 3-2, 2 outs.
Pat Murphy is running the dugout now with the ejection of Craig Counsell earlier in the game. So he's got some decisions to make. This is about the start of the game where some major decisions only begin in a ball game. Again, the 3-2 to Elmore. Again, he fouls one off.
Keeps attacking him with the fastball. Ever since it was a 3-1 count, they've been off fastballs in the mid-90s. And Domingo getting worn out over there.
No longer running back.
3 straight 3-2 pitches.
And they'll try it again. Here's the 3-2. And it's high, and Elmore, and a good at bat, draws a walk, and the bases are loaded. And Anderson will be called back. So a pinch hitter set.
And apparently Jonathan Villar, that knee good enough to swing the bat. Well, Pat Murphy taking his shot, one of his best hitters, coming to the plate with the bases loaded.
And that's a good sign for the Brewers to have him grab a bat and make an appearance here. And now Ray Searage is going to take the slow walk out to the mound and have a talk with his pitcher, Nicasio.
Yeah, Villar, pretty good pinch hitter. He's 2 for 2. He hasn't pinch hit all that often, but both times he's been able to get hits, and he's got a couple of RBIs.
Let's take a look on Friday, that collision with Harrison over at third base for Villar. And it's his knee.
Yeah, that left knee, the inside of the left knee, Harrison with the collision. That was a big out in that game. That was an 8th inning out at third base with nobody out.
He was still swollen yesterday, so he was not able to play. And Rick Counsell said before the game that the swelling went down considerably and he was moving around better, and obviously good enough to get in here and pinch hit for the Brewers. Big situation here with 2 down, and Milwaukee a 1-0 advantage. They could open things up here against the Pirates. Villar from the left side against the right-handed pitcher. Nicasio works quickly against Villar. 2-0 though.
Yeah, back-to-back appearances for Nicasio where he's loaded the bases. Did it on Friday, did not give up a run. And he's done it again here today.
Here's the 2-0. Just hits the outside corner. So 2-1 to Villar. Trying to pick up his 3rd pinch hit in as many appearances. Looking to drive home maybe a run or 2 here. Big hack and a miss. 2-2. The 2-2. Slaps one foul, just foul. Down that third base line.
Yeah, right off the end of the bat on the fastball, 96. Little off the outside corner. Yeah, both of his pinch hitting opportunities have come as a left-handed hitter.
Yeah, 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs is not bad in limited work as a pinch hitter. Again, the 2-2 to Villar. And to left field, Marte going back and watches this. Go over the wall for a grand slam. How about the carry off of the bat of Jonathan Villar? A pinch hit grand slam.
Oh, man. Boy, he hammered down with another fastball from Nicasio. And well, the walk to Jake Elmore. And how about Villar's production off the bench? 3 for 3. A home run and 5 RBIs, or 6 RBIs as a pinch hitter this year. Here it is, fastball away. Hits it hard. That's right where you want to get him if you don't get all of it. Although he did hit that one pretty well right down that left field line, and a 4-pointer for Villar. How about that?
His first career grand slam for Jonathan Villar, and what a season he has put together for the Brewers here in 2016.
And a 2-2 pitch right down that left field line, and it looked like Nicasio was going to get out of that mess. First and third, nobody out. A pitch away from getting out of it with no runs scored, and Villar drops one in the seats inside that foul pole and left.
Boy, this kid is an entertainer, this Jonathan Villar. Broxton, a 2-1 count now with 2 down. A 2-out pinch hit grand slam for Jonathan Villar, and a 5-0 Milwaukee lead. Guy's got 51 steals. He's played 2 infield positions. Played well at them both. Been a consistent 300 hitter in his first big league season.
And now has 12 home runs.
And is a perfect pinch hitter on the year as well.
A good call, pinch hitting for Anderson. That was an obvious move with the bases loaded. But to pick the right guy off the bench and have him come through. Nice job, Murph.
Darnell Cole is the hitting coach there. It's always a team effort with the staff, but you know, when your manager's not in the dugout anymore, there's got to be more consulting going on, don't you think?
Absolutely. I mean, it's a team effort.
Here's the 3-2. Fly ball right field. Polanco coming in and makes the catch. That's the final out of the inning, but the Brewers score big time here in the 6th inning. With 2 outs, Jonathan Villar playing hurt with a pinch hit grand slam, and Milwaukee will take the 5-0 lead. Milwaukee 5-0 in jeopardy of getting swept here in Pittsburgh in a 3-game series. Let's check out our carsoup.com trivia question. Brewers bullpen coach Lee Tunnell made his major league debut for the Pirates on this day in 1982 at Dodger Stadium. Which pitcher did he oppose that day? Fernando Valenzuela. That was your guess. You knew it. That's pretty much a good guess if you know that era. There's a look at the box score of that one. Lee Tunnell.
And he beat him.
You got it.
That boy. Kent
7 strong
Tekulve.
innings. Look at that.
Kent Tekulve in the ballpark. That was a nice scene down in the Brewers dugout before the game today. Kent Tekulve and Rowan talking together, both submariners, and Rowan getting some pointers from one of the best in the business, the submariner Kent Tekulve.
Now, when Ben Rowan got here, on Friday. He said one of the things he wants to do is Tyler Cravey now taking over in the 6th inning on the mound for Chase Anderson. Well, the first things he wanted to do was meet Tekulve, and they met this morning. Finally, it worked out, and they had a long conversation down there in the Brewer dugout.
Tekulve was teaching him some grips and a lot of other different things. I think they were talking about maybe philosophies, and good to see. Kent Tekulve does some television with the Pirates. Kind of a fraternity, you know. Phil Nico used to do that with knuckleballers around the league. He'd talk to them.
That is good. I mean, pick up some pointers, especially the guys that have been around and successful, and you see somebody trying to do something a little more unusual, off the beaten path.
But it's good those guys do that. You know?
Absolutely.
I mean, they don't have to, especially with, you know, Tekulve works for the Pirates. He does Pirate television, and he goes over there and has a nice chat with a Brewer reliever.
So Cravey on the mound, a ball and 2 strikes to Harrison, who leads off the 6th inning. Ball hit hard center field. Broxton underneath it. Let's head to the field. Sophia Minnaert has more on the Submariners connection.
Yeah, Ben Rowan is still waiting to make his Brewers debut, but he was very excited about the time he got to spend with Kent Tekulve earlier this morning. 16 years for him in the big leagues, of course, 12 of those coming here in Pittsburgh. And so he talked about a lot of things you were saying, Rock, about philosophies, how you attack hitters, different grips. And so he said he really just enjoyed talking baseball and talking through some of those philosophies with him. And Rowan also told me he spent a lot of time watching Chad Bradford as a kid, who spent time with Tampa Bay, Oakland. Told me he watched probably 400 at-bats of him. So definitely one of those submarine guys that you continue to follow, and said he really appreciated Tekulve taking the time to meet with him here today.
Yeah, that's good stuff. You know, I never faced Kent Tekulve. He was always, you know, National League guy. I did face Dan Quisenberry, and those guys are tough.
Yeah, I remember Dan Quisenberry.
Yeah, Kansas City Royals, and it's just a matter of, you know, the release point with these guys. It takes you 2 or 3 pitches, if you've never really faced a guy like that, to figure out where that ball is coming out from. That is not something you see a whole lot. That's why they're so effective. You know, big sink, ground ball pitchers. Tekulve with that sweeping slider, and had some incredible years with the Pirates.
What is about the sidearm, the submarine? What one every decade is produced?
Yeah, is that what it is?
It seems that way. I mean, some of the names we're talking about are talking about 70s, 80s, 90s guys, and now Rowan is trying to make it here a chance with the Brewers. They claimed him from Toronto.
It's just a deception. You just don't see a lot of guys like that, and it's all about the release point. Others aren't used to trying to pick up a baseball that's right about at the top of the mound. It makes it very difficult to see the ball. And
this one hit hard, and Santana watches it off the top of the wall, plays it off a bounce, and into second base goes Jaso with a 1-out double.
Yeah, he's hit the ball hard every time up today. Lined out to first, lined out to second base. This time doubles off the wall and right. Hit that one hard. Stayed in the ballpark. Fastball that got too much of the plate, and Jaso misses a home run by a few feet.
So a 1-out double brings up McCutchen. He singled back in the 4th. Brewers have 10 relievers. This is Cravey's first appearance in this series. High fly ball, shallow left. Arcia going out and makes the catch. Boy, makes it look easy out there fighting the sun too.
Yeah, McCutchen just missed that one. Got underneath it, hit it right on the sweet spot. Ball a mile in the air. tell you, the Brewers would love to be able to get through this game without having to use Tyler Thornburg. He's been worked quite a bit. He's been in each of the last 2 games, or both of the last 2 games, and if they can get through this one without using Tyler, that would be a bonus.
Yeah, he saved Wednesday's win as well, but they had the off day Thursday. So he saved each of the last 3 games, but that day off helped him a little bit. But the last 2 days. Here's Polanco.
Yeah, which makes these innings, you know, 6th and 7th innings very important. You have to keep that nice cushion and not have to use Thornburg today in the 9th.
Boy, the Brewers relief corps on Friday, 5 2/3 innings of shutout baseball. This one lifted to left. Elmore on the warning track, and there's the final out. So 1-out double goes for naught for the Pittsburgh Pirates. It is still 5-0 Milwaukee.
Afternoon in Pittsburgh. Best way is right here at the ballpark. Hey, join the Brewers for the first ever give back game at Miller Park. That's Sunday, September 25th against the Reds. You can get tickets to the Brewers' final home game of the season in exchange for a $10 donation to one of 4 local charities. Visit brewers.com/giveback for tickets.
Boy, what a day here, what a weekend, and the activity we've seen on the Allegheny River right outside of PNC Park. All 3 days we've been here has been tremendous.
A lot of boats out there. You know, you can walk across the river without getting wet. There's so many boats out there.
That's true. String them together.
Who says you can't walk on water, right?
That's right.
Just hop from boat to boat.
A lot of activities you can see right outside the ballpark.
Yeah, football game yesterday next door at Heinz Field.
Yeah, we saw that Villanova flag on that boat out there as Matt Joyce takes over and right. Kelvin Marte, the new pitcher for the Pirates, and Arcia greets him with a single to open up the Brewers' 7th inning. Brewers used that grand slam by VR in the 6th, and now a new pitcher in Marte.
Yeah, we saw Marte in yesterday's ball game for the Pirates. Only a third of an inning, gave up a hit. Also struck out a batter. Bullpens have been used quite a bit, you know, in this series.
Second appearance in the big leagues, made his major league debut in yesterday's game for Pittsburgh. Perez to the right side. Harrison, a nice play, and the relay not in time. Harrison fielding his position out at second base very well there. Made a quick turn, but Perez too quick.
Yeah, that gives you a sense of how fast Hernan Perez is, and That's a nice play by Josh Harrison, spinning around and making a good throw to second base. Almost able to turn it, but Perez able to beat it.
So Nicasio in relief gives up that grand slam to VR. This time Carter hits it hard. And this time the double play is complete. 5-4-3. And the Brewers are retired quickly here in the 7th inning. And our Sunday tradition in Major League Baseball continues with God Bless America here at PNC Park.
As we offer support to our troops here and abroad. The Pirates and Sport Clips welcome E2 Brian McCurdy of the United States Marine Corps. Brian served from 2003 through 2007, was deployed to Iraq twice during Operation Enduring Freedom, and was honorably discharged in 2007. While in combat, Brian suffered hearing loss and joint damage from his years of service. We are pleased to have Brian home and proud to have him here with us today. And now here to lead us with God Bless America is Chelsea Hurt.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
The Brewers have a lead and have live broadcast, scoring updates, breaking news, and more right at your fingertips with MLB.com At Bat, the official app of the Brewers. Download At Bat today, free for your smartphone or tablet. Wasn't a very good segue, was it?
You did all right, my friend.
Kind of choppy.
Well, I don't know.
After all, it is the day of rest, isn't it? Sunday?
It is, my friend, but not for you. This is a work day. This is punch your clock. Keep going. You're not done yet.
Oh, yeah. I meant promo reading.
Tyler Cravey back out here at the bottom of the 7th inning, trying to protect a 5-0 lead. He came in the 6th inning, gave up a double, but that was it. And he'll face Marte right out of the gates. Brewers trying to pick up their 2nd road sweep of the season. Had one back in Atlanta. High pop up into center field. Broxton gets underneath it. And there's the first out. So a VR pinch hit grand slam has been the big difference here in this game, and that happened in the 6th inning for Milwaukee. Big 2-out pinch hit grand slam. The last time the Brewers had a grand slam was a year ago when Jason Rogers was still with the Brewers. He's now with the Pirates. Did that against St. Louis and Trevor Rosenthal. Those are few and far between, those grand slams.
Yeah. And equally important was Tyler Cravey's 6th inning, keeping the Pirates off the board after the Brewers, put up 4 runs in their half of the 6th. Always important to keep them down. Keep that momentum on your side.
And Cravey working at a very quick pace, and Rodriguez steps out of the box to get timeout to slow up that pace a little bit. Two and two the count to Rodriguez, who gets the start at shortstop today. He had a double back in the 2nd inning. The Pirates have been kept off the board so far in this one, although they've had one hit in each inning. Brewers have had a couple of double plays in this game to wipe the bases clear, so the Pirates have only stranded 4 so far. This one punched into right, and right at Santana. 2 down.
Always important to be able to throw strikes. Don't be walking batters. The Brewers doing a good job of that. Have not walked a batter yet today.
Let's go back to that. Last time the Brewers had a grand slam before today, it was Rogers a year ago in St. Louis back in September. That was the pinch hit grand slam, the last pinch hit grand slam until today. And VR got it today in the 6th inning. There's Jason Rogers, who was called up on Friday for the September call-ups. Looks like he has a batting helmet on, and might see him before the end of this game. We haven't seen him yet. He came over in that trade for Keon Broxton. Broxton's turned into a starter in Milwaukee's outfield, and Rogers is not caught on here in Pittsburgh. He's only appeared in 10 games this season on the big league level. Strike in from Cravey on the 3-0 count.
The 2 guys that got traded for each other, but so much different in the way they play their game.
Another strike poured in by Cravey. It is now full with 2 down. Broxton and Rogers are different type of athletes, that's for sure.
And I knew it. As soon as I said they haven't walked anybody, they walk about it. I should have waited until after the game. When am I going to learn?
I don't know, Rock. It's been an ongoing issue.
I mean, I made it in reference to the 3-2 pitch to Rodriguez. Didn't want to walk him, right? Throws a strike, gets an out. I go on this rant about walks, and then he walks the next guy.
Don't take it so hard, my friend.
It's my fault. Sorry, Tyler.
Let's see what Rogers does here. Now that we're talking about him, he makes a plate appearance.
Yeah, but you were talking about grand slams.
Well, there's no way he can hit one right now. That's the good news. Derek Johnson coming out to talk with Cravey. Jason Rogers makes his first plate appearance against his old team. Check out pinch hit grand slams in Brewer history. 5 of them, now 6 today. There's Jonathan VR. Some notable names there. Jason Rogers, Matt Mieske, remember him, Darrell Porter. Former Brewer catcher. One hit in 14 big league at bats here in 2016 for Jason Rogers. That one hit was a triple, an RBI triple. At AAA this year in the minors, 263 with 6 home runs and 40 RBIs. Now, if you looked at the trade between Rogers and Broxton, and now that it's college football and NFL season time, you'd think Rogers would be the linebacker and Broxton the wide receiver, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah. You can probably put Keon Broxton in a lot of different spots. Rogers maybe a pulling guard.
Yes, indeed. Good look at the 2. 2 balls and 1 strikes to Rogers. Now 2-2.
Some of the best athletes on the football field, aren't they? Those offensive linemen.
Yeah, they are actually, especially the guards that pull.
Got to have quick feet.
Yeah, you bet.
Athletic.
Got to protect the quarterback, open up the running game, the passing game.
Smart.
Here's the 2-2. To third base, Perez guns down Rogers. And there's the final out here in the Pirates' 7th inning. Cravey does it. 2 strong innings so far out of the bullpen.
Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time.
Back in Pittsburgh, a lot of activity on the river right outside the ballpark. The Brewers, a lot of activity in this game. 5-0, they lead it. in the top of the 8th. And every weekday morning, Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp go head-to-head on the day's hottest sports topics. Undisputed with Skip and Shannon premieres Tuesday at 8:30 in the morning, only on FS1. Back we go. Kelvin Marte still on the mound for the Pirates, his second inning of relief. And he faces Domingo Santana, who's had a good day at the plate for the Brewers. 2 hits, including a home run, scored 2 runs. That's exactly what he needs to do, is heat up at the plate here in the final month of September.
Yeah, just think about that that bat the Brewers have been without just about the entire season. There's a lot of offense out there. Of course, Hernan Perez did a good job making up for it.
Now Perez has met every challenge, hasn't he?
Yes, he has.
Starting in 5 different positions this season for Milwaukee, and fielding all of them well. In fact, putting on a clinic on Friday night over at first base.
Yeah, a couple of game-saving plays. One a snare of a ground ball down the line. Another one a big throw to third base.
That's what makes this game very, very special, this game of baseball. You see in this series alone, Perez making only his 2nd start over at first base and looking like a Gold Glover defensively on some key plays, helping preserve a 1-0 victory. And then VR today doesn't pitch in very often and hits a grand slam.
Yeah. And that's what this season's all about. I mean, win some games. That's the #1 priority. But secondarily, figure out what you have going into next year. And I think a lot of these young players are opening up some eyes. It's been fun.
Little cue shot over to Harrison for the first out.
And the other motivation for this team is to try and knock some of these playoff contenders out of contention. Doing a good job against the Pirates this weekend.
Yeah, they're trying to pay him back after that sweep the Pirates had in Milwaukee last weekend. They regained their mojo and lost it just as fast this week, though, because they haven't won since. They're in jeopardy of losing their 6th straight ball game, and that would drop them to 500 on the season.
Yeah, Brewers are going to go into a 4-game series against the Cardinals. Going to go into Texas.
Well, you got the Cubs and the Cardinals the entire week coming up here. Right down the line, nice backhanded play by Frazier, and that retires Pena.
Hey, today's time of the game winner, bar 430 in Oshkosh. If they call the Brewers by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, they get 40 tickets to an April or May 2017 Brewers home game. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite. Not sure you're going to be able to derail the Cubs.
No, I don't think so.
I think that runaway freight train is not much you can do about that. Of course, it'd be nice to win a few games against them.
Well, that's the bottom line. Scooter Gennett bats here in the 8th inning.
3 games in Milwaukee starting tomorrow, and then the Brewers go on that long road trip. They play another 4-game series in Chicago.
Scooter Gennett lines to the shortstop, and a quick 1-2-3 inning for Marte out on the mound. Brewers retired here in the 8th. Still in front, though, 5-0. you go. That's one nugget off our list for the weekend. Well done, Jeff.
That is good.
And there's always a well-dressed pirate in costume here at the park. Here's Yadiel Rivera taking over at second base for Scooter Gennett, and Jacob Barnes on the mound ready for appearance number 18 for the Brewers.
Yeah, 357 earned run average for Barnes. He came off the disabled list on September 2nd. He made rehab appearances down in Double-A Biloxi, 3 appearances.
He faces Joyce. Joyce batting for the first time in this game. Came in a double switch back in the 7th.
It's that good fastball, 96. He can touch 97 at times, and he's got an electric slider. Slider's probably his best pitch. A lot of times he calls a cutter.
And the count even on Joyce. Matt Joyce with big numbers against the Brewers here at PNC Park this year. 5 for 11 with 2 home runs and 7 RBIs. This one rolled to second. Rivera back up with the big league team for the first out. One down here in the Pirate half of inning number 8. Here's Josh Harrison with a couple of hits, a double and a single in this one. Well, it's good to see Rivera out at second base again for Milwaukee. A couple of stints with the big league team this year and just didn't get enough plate appearances to be effective on the offensive side for Milwaukee. His glove, no question. And this one he will take for the second out. Nice play over there in foul territory.
Well, there's no doubt that he is he's very ready defensively at the major league level. It's just a matter of whether he's going to hit enough to be able to stay in the lineup or stay in the major leagues. But he has got a tremendous range, a terrific throwing arm. And just one of many middle infielders that the Brewers feel as though that are young, that the Brewers feel as though have a shot to be impact players at the major league level.
Yeah, made the opening day roster, but just was so seldom used, and it's such a tough transition for young players at times when they go from spring training playing every day. And he played in a lot of infield positions for the Brewers as well. Another versatile utility type player for Milwaukee. That's what happened to Keon Broxton. Just couldn't hit out of the gates, but getting that everyday much needed time at the AAA level and then working their way back. That's what you got to do, though. You got to keep working.
Yeah, 4th different time he's been with the Brewers. Sent up and down a number of times, and you know, just like Keon Broxton, maybe this is the charm right here for, right?
Absolutely. You never know. Two-one pitch to Jaso. It's the outside corner, 2-2. Craig Counsell ejected back in the 3rd inning, so Pat Murphy, the bench coach, has taken over in that Brewer dugout. There's been some conversations about the transition that Pat Murphy has gone through. Of course, his relationship with Craig Counsell goes way back to the days where he was Notre Dame's college coach, and Craig Counsell was a player there, but then he was the head coach at Arizona State, then transitioned into pro ball and wound up with the San Diego Padres, managing their AAA team a year ago, and then about a month in taking over with the big league club as their interim manager. This one hit hard, center field, long way back. Broxton on the run and makes the catch against the wall. What a nice play by Keon Broxton. And that ends the 8th inning for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Nice play out there by the Brewers center fielder, tracking it down. Go to the top of the 9th inning. They are thinking sweep here. And then our look at our Miller Lite what's on tap. They're set for the Chicago Cubs coming in a day game tomorrow on Labor Day, 12:10 Central Time start. And then Tuesday and Wednesday nights in Milwaukee, our pregame programming on those nights starts at 6:30.
Yeah, missing 2 big boys. No Arrieta, no John Lester. But the other guys are no walk in the park.
Yeah, still a lot to contend with over there, that is for sure. Marte back out on the mound for the Pirates, his 3rd inning of relief. Brault started this game for Pittsburgh, gave up the solo home run to Santana, 5 innings. And that was the only damage the Brewers could do against him, but the Pirates, not too many offensive opportunities against Milwaukee, so he was lifted for a pinch hitter.
Pirates 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position today, so Chase Anderson and the Brewers bullpen doing a good job so far. Still got 3 big outs to go.
Here's Jake Elmore, who drew a huge walk back in that 6th inning with 2 down. Big battle on the mound, and that set the stage for VR to pinch hit for Chase Anderson, and he got the grand slam. But you got to give this guy a lot of credit for that at bat. Long at bat, drew the walk to load the bases. And another walk for Jake Elmore here today.
Important spot in that batting order, number 8, particularly when early in the game you're batting in front of the pitcher. A lot of times you got to be patient at the plate. Other times you got to expand that zone a little bit. Driving a run with a pitcher coming up. Not an easy spot.
Here's Yadiel Rivera. Takes a swing at the first pitch into center field, a base hit. Rivera not wasting any time. And he goes after that first pitch and gets a single. So a good way to get back to the big leagues.
Not waiting around. First pitch fastball and able to hit it hard. That pitch right down the middle of the plate, and Rivera able to single on the first pitch. Just out of the reach of Rodriguez out at short.
Top of the order now in Broxton. 2 doubles on the day for Keon Broxton. Tried to swipe third base back in the 5th inning, but was caught for just the 2nd time in 23 attempts this year. Fly ball center field. McCutcheon's got it for out number 1 here in the 9th. Take a look at our Powerball home run leaderboard. Chris Carter has 31. That came yesterday in the win here in Pittsburgh. Ryan Braun with 24. He has the day off today. It's always good if the Brewers can win and produce some offense without Ryan Braun in the lineup.
Yeah, right. And VR. Of course, he played a big part in that 6th inning.
He only needed 1 at bat today.
Right.
So it's Arcia who's drawn 2 walks, also a base hit. So he's been productive on the bases for Milwaukee. 3 hits in yesterday's game. Safely on base 3 times today. 7 times he's reached base in the series. Takes one high and tight. He's made some very smooth plays here in this series as well.
Yeah, replay saved him an error early in the game today.
That's right. So he likes replay.
Yeah. Doesn't everybody?
Of course. Well, the Brewers have won 1 and lost 1 and then lost 1 to an umpire's decision. Ground ball to short and through the legs of Rodriguez. So that'll be an error and load the bases.
Still more shoddy defense by the Pirates. That should have ended the inning. Well, now the Brewers have another opportunity with the bases loaded. This is about as room service as it gets for a double play, but rolls right up the glove of Rodriguez, and they don't get anybody.
Mercer, the everyday shortstop with the day off today. Rodriguez pretty solid though as a super utility player for Clint Hurdle and the Pirates. Perez, big swing and a miss with the bases loaded here. 1 down in the Brewer 9th inning. They own a 5-0 lead already. There's already been 1 grand slam by VR in this game for the Brewers. Perez reached on an error back in the 3rd inning and swiped his 28th base. His error, though, or not his error, but the error that he reached set the stage for Craig Counsell getting ejected. Some controversy on that play and where runners were placed by the umpires.
Yep, obstruction on a ball hit by Hernan Perez.
Brian Gorman, the crew chief, had the final say there.
Cost the Brewers a run. They sent Arcia back to 3rd base.
Two and 2 the count now on Perez. Up the middle, stopped by Rodriguez, flipped to second. Nice job there to get the force. A run does score. And Milwaukee now leads it 6-0. So the error costs the Pirates one more run.
Perez doing a good job making contact, almost able to find a hole in the center field. And so the leadoff walk to Jake Elmore comes around to score. Brewers able to pad their lead.
Elmore has scored twice in this game, getting his first start in 2 weeks out in the field and left field today. First and third for Chris Carter. He doubled back in the 6th inning and scored on that grand slam. Carter with a career high tying 4 hits in yesterday's game. Marte working in his 3rd inning of relief, and Carter a blast to center field. McCutchen going back, watches it leave the ballpark. Home run number 32 for Chris Carter, and the Brewers are having another big inning, a 3-run pop.
I say it every time I see Carter hit one of these home runs. It's amazing how easy the swing is and how far he can hit the baseball. And that ball way back in center field. So the Brewers with another 4-run inning, now up 9-0 over the Pirates. That's about as easy as you can swing and hit a ball that far for Chris Carter. A 3-run homer and a 9-0 lead over the Pirates.
Carter now 77 RBIs. That overtakes Ryan Braun for the team lead, his team leading 32nd home run. And how about the Brewers? A grand slam and a 3-run home run with 2 outs. And it's Santana all the way to the Brewer bullpen. His 2nd home run of the game. Back-to-back home runs for Milwaukee here in the 9th inning. And how about that? A touchdown and a field goal here in Pittsburgh, and it's 10-0.
Yeah, all because Sean Rodriguez couldn't turn a double play, right? Didn't get an error on it, but that ground ball that Arcia hit should have been a double play to end the inning. As a result, the Brewers able to put 5 runs on the board. Well, you feel bad for Marte, who pitched 2 pretty good innings. Clint Hurdle trying to get a little bit more out of him, and he has been laid a 5 spot on him here in the 9th inning. One of those guys that you're just going to have to suck up innings, but Hurdle continues to leave him out there. Absorbed 5 runs, 5 earnings after putting up zeros in the 7th and 8th. And Domingo Santana, first career multi-home run game, hit one in the 2nd inning.
4 home runs today for Milwaukee. 2 solo shots by Santana, a 3-run pop by Carter, and a grand slam by VR as a pinch hitter.
And just now activity in that Pirates bullpen. Next pitch is going to be 40 for Marte, who's working out of the bullpen.
Here's the Brewer catcher today, Pena. Well, the Brewers scored a 1-0 victory yesterday, scored 7 runs in their win in game 2 and 10 here so far today. Slow roller to first, and Jaso takes it himself to retire the side here in the 10th. But the Brewers come up with 5 more runs and double their lead. Couple of big home runs, a 3-run home run by Carter, and Santana follows back-to-back home runs for Milwaukee. It is a 10-0 score, Brewers here in the 9th. Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Spend the night with luxury. Beautiful view of downtown Pittsburgh, and the Brewers have made this place a nice home this weekend, going for the sweep. They lead it 10-0. Domingo Santana, 2 home runs in this game alone. Good to see him swinging the bat well again for the Brewers, and it's going to be Ben Rowan making his Brewers debut here for the first time as a call-up from Colorado Springs. There's that submarine-style delivery.
Yeah, made 8 appearances back in 2014 with the Texas Rangers, the Submariner. Good numbers for Rowan down in AAA, a 169 earned run average in 8 games. And he's got a 10-run cushion to work with to get through this 9th inning. Actually, you know, I was saying 5 earned runs, no earned runs. There was an error on Sean Rodriguez, so no earned runs on the Carta Marte, all unearned, all 5 for the Brewers.
And we saw one of those 5 runs, no earned outings for Matt Garza recently as Rowan delivers his first pitch in a Brewer uniform. He faces Andrew McCutchen here in the 9th inning. A 10-run cushion to work with. Ben Rowan's last trip to the majors was with the Rangers. He made 8 appearances back in 2014. He had a busy 2015 year. He was traded from the Dodgers to the Orioles, released by them, signed by the Cubs, released by them, and then signed by Toronto, and then kept through their organization and released last month. Originally drafted by the Rangers back in 2010. Popped up shallow center field. Arcia fighting the sun, making a nice catch for the first out for Rowan. In 2014, Rowan had rare surgery to repair painful biceps called thoracic outlet syndrome, which involved removing a rib from his right side. Josh Beckett also had that surgery. That syndrome is a group of disorders that occur when blood vessels or nerves in the space between your collarbone and your first rib are compressed. It can cause pain in your shoulders and neck and numbness in your fingers. How about that?
That's what I must have. I experienced all that.
Well, let me just say this. You downed a rib yesterday at Rib Fest, so that could be the cause.
That wasn't 1 rib. That was like a dozen.
That was a nice setup, actually, for Rib Fest, wasn't it?
Yeah. And it's amazing what these doctors can do. I mean, you know, back in the old days, I mean, just kind of like, I don't know, hang with them. But the techniques that they have, not only can they fix you, but they can get you back on the field pretty quickly.
It's amazing what the ribs can connect and cause pain with, though. I think that was my biggest surprise out of that. Thanks to the Mayo Clinic, by the way,
right,
for that description of that syndrome.
You might think this would be a good way to settle in your first appearance with a new team, first time in the big leagues in a couple of years. But this kid has his own challenges up 10-0. Pitch a little bit differently when you're up this many runs. You're thinking about not walking batters. You throw it down the middle, make them swing the bat. Sometimes it can be difficult to keep the concentration.
And this one lined to Arcia, jumps up and snags that one out of the air. 2 down for Rowan. Remember that he had that conversation earlier today with Kent Tekulve. And here's Tekulve's delivery, the former Pirate. And now Rowan's delivery for the Brewers.
And Rowan even further down than Kenton Colby. Giving even more sink on the fastball. There he is, getting ready for the post-game show.
Two down for Marte, who's 0 for 3 in this game. Brewers an out away from matching their longest road string victory. As you take one more look at that arm angle.
Yep, it is lower. That's a little bit more difficult to throw strikes from a lower arm angle than one that Colby showed. But the deception is what makes him effective. Not many guys like that throwing the baseball. Unusual to the hitter, and it takes him a while to get used to it.
Brewers claimed Rowan back in August when Toronto cut him loose. A strike away from a Brewer win here in Pittsburgh. Marte continues the battle. The Pirates open up a 10-game homestand this weekend against Milwaukee. St. Louis coming in here next, and then 4 against Cincinnati. They're going to have to figure out a way to regroup. They have had a tough week. And again, Marte just staying alive here in this at-bat. Big question is, if you're a hitter, what's that pitch look like coming in?
Yeah, I can tell you what it looks like. You can see the top of the baseball. And because when he releases it, I mean, you can't get your eyes down that low. Tough to pick it up, tough for the depth perception.
And he misses high and away.
You can see he's only throwing 81 miles an hour, 82 miles an hour, and that's with the fastball.
And again, Marte, what a battle going on at the plate. His 9th big league appearance. And the first since 2014 when he was with the Rangers. 3-2 called, strike 3, and a long battle, and the win goes to Rowan against Marte, and the Brewers finish off a 10-0 win over the Pittsburgh Pirates here this afternoon in a sweep of the 3-game series and a little payback from last weekend's sweep by the Pirates at Miller Park.
And really, the Brewers looked like the team that was battling for a wild card. I mean, they came in here and they took it to the Pirates. They outplayed them in every aspect of the game. Good to see. So the crew starting to, play some pretty good baseball on the road. It's a good thing because they have a lot of road games coming up.
All right, the Brewers high-fiving for the 3rd straight day here in Pittsburgh. Let's begin our post-game programming now and send it out to Jeff Grayson.
Great job, man. Congratulations, man. Beautiful. Great job.